Yes, Krishna.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are
Please give a
audible.
thumbs up.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, Kishan, you are audible, no? You can start now.
Oh, so first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Kishan, and I am having 7+ years of experience in telecom domain that include 2G to 5G and including IMS and VONR services. And also, I worked on automation and testing of the same telecom domain. So I hope everyone is comfortable in English, or also we can like speak in Hindi. It will be mixed, like Hindi English combined. So सब ठीक है इससे? Everyone is fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So before starting, let me just share my screen. Uh, Confirm me once the screen is visible to you guys. Okay.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay. Great.
Isn't
So
just I have one question. Do we get like the recording of this session, the end or something like that?
yeah, session has been recorded and it will be available.
Okay, sure then.
Okay.
Sir, I
So
don't know Hindi, sir.
sorry.
I don't know Hindi.
1 second. I can't hear you properly. Let me check my. Hold on. Yeah. Can you please come again?
Sir, I don't know Hindi. Please teach in English also.
Yeah. So now I think I can hear. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen again. Yeah, Sharelekha, what you were saying? Can you come again? Okay, let's start. Mm, so before going further, some prerequisite like इस सेशन में आगे बढ़ने से पहले हमें कुछ ना कुछ पहले से पता होना चाहिए about telecom domain, about manual testing, so that mm,
Kishan, explain in English only. I don't know in Hindi.
okay, understood. Okay.
Cyrillica, actually, we will continue as per our plan only, right? So it's not our concern.
Okay.
Kishan, please continue as we discussed, right?
Yeah, sure. So before proceeding further, we should have some basic idea about the telecom architecture, about IMS, or like about the architecture, call flow, and all those things. And moving further, someone is unmute. Can please mute yourself so that Okay. So so that we could understand all the content which is we are going to learn in this course. So hope all are okay. And if someone need anything in like want so that I can speak in Hindi as well, so not an issue. We will continue in that way. So in this content course, we are going to cover these are the topics which I'm projecting on my screen, and the contents are introduction to telecom testing. Okay, this is the one. And second, we have further why automation is required, why automation testing and all those things are required in telecom domain. What is the scope of those things? So today we will cover all those things, but I'm giving a brief overview about the total course, what we are going to cover and all. Okay, so basics of Linux we need, because we all know that all the telecom servers are majorly on the Linux environment, and we should know some basic of the Linux command that should cover all those things. Like, let me show you. These are the commands. Hope this second Excel which I have opened, everyone can see.
No, it's not visible.
Oh,
So
it's not. Let me reshare. Now,
Yes.
okay. So these are some basic Linux things which we are going to cover, like how to move from one directly to another directory using CDRs, CD commands and all, like how to list all those things, like how to make a new folder cat. So these commands we are going to run and practice, so that further we will not face any issue when we are working on automation, because these are very basic thing which we should know. So this, like how to give the rights to the particular file or script whichever we are making. So this is just an overview which we are going to cover. Okay, today we are not I will not discuss much about this. I'm just giving an overview. Okay, then moving back to our main course content. So after Linux, we are going to cover Python, because the language which we are going to use in this course will be Python, to automate the core network and also performing the testing related scenario. So in Python, like as per the telecom domain requirement, we don't need a much advanced level knowledge of Python. If you have a basic knowledge, आपको basic आता है, then it's fine. But yeah, you should know some basic and how to utilize with telecom architecture and requirement, because you can be a developer by learning these things, but you should know where to implement it in a telecom domain. So वो सब काफी important है यहाँ पे. So we will focus on basics of the Python, so that we can perform all the required aspects. So what are the things we are going to cover in Python is, I think this second file which I have opened is visible. सबको दिख रहा है?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And stop me if I'm going fast. किसी को ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम थोड़ा फास्ट जा रहे हैं या इसमें कुछ और डिस्कस करना है, you guys can ask me questions in between. So if possible, I will answer you in between. Otherwise, I will ask you to wait. After the completion of the topic, I will explain. So everyone is okay to ask their questions or any doubt they have. Okay. So in Python, we are going to cover the basics of Python. What are why we are only using Python? We have other languages as well, Java and all, but why we are focusing on Python? These things. And installation of PyCharm. Like suppose we want to use any environment, so we have to install Python first, and we should have some IDEs like PyCharm, VS Code, or Sublime Text. There are many IDEs, काफी सारे हैं यहाँ पे. So we are going to use Python in this. This is just a small topic, but when you start learning Python, the major difficulty is to make a environment where you are going to implement your automation. So यहाँ पे हम focus कि we have to how to install, how to
set up the environment, Python, which version we should use, what will be compatible. So this setup and installation we will do on a call, and everyone will install. I hope everyone is connected on laptop, and it's a requirement. Like, to continue further in this course and all, you must have a laptop where we can install parallelly, and we will do all those things practically, not only theory. I will show you, and you will just see the lecture. It's like a lecture. It will be a practical session. So hope everyone is having laptop and they are connected using their laptop in the class, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So moving further, these are the things we will cover: basic syntax and data type. Like, when we start with any programming language, the first thing is hello world command and all those things. So print statement, we will going to start with it, and moving further, the various types of operator, like boolean operator, arithmetic things, all those operations we are going to perform by a very basic example. To learning these types of programming language, we should follow a very basic example and a very like small type of things. And in programming we have to combine उन सबको मिला के, like, we have to make a application based on the requirement. Then variable, how to define a variable, what not we should define, what will be the like nomenclature for that, all those things we will discuss. Then control flow, like, if anyone is having experience in programming prior, or they have learned in their college time or some, they know if statement, elif, else, these are basic things we all see. But how to implement it, how we can use it in a small project, so these things with practical examples we are going to use in our next upcoming classes. Then functions, how to use a function or define a function, these types of thing. If we are, suppose we are creating a uh, program that is just I'm giving the name and it is giving me my surname. So how to define that function, what are the arguments we can pass, so वो सब हम इसमें देखेंगे. And this it is all these topics are very basic but very essential. Then data structure. So suppose we have in every domain we have to work on some data. कोई ना कोई डेटा होता है जिस पे हमें काम करना है. So the thing is, we will we will segregate our data in a form of lists, tuples, dictionaries, sets, all this thing. And how we can use different things, and this data structure combinedly we will use in a control flow by defining a function. So first we will go with the basics of what is data structure, what are function, what are control flow. And slowly as we move further with our content in this course, we will combine together and use it. Then string manipulation, if some output, like koi output mila hame, koi response mila, then how we can use that response with our own. Suppose I got some data in the output and that is having many parameters, but I need only couple of them. So how I will manipulate them based on my uses, like जैसी हमें जरूरत है as per our requirement. Then file handling. Suppose we have a pcap file, some many dump. Hope all know pcap files. What are pcap files and all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So how we can, like, I think if you guys have attended previous sessions on manual testing and all, definitely आप लोग को pcap पे दिखाया होगा कि how the call flow uh, messages are there, how, what are the things we have to analyze, right? So those things we can manipulate. And suppose we want to apply some filter and all those things, so we can do using Python, and in a single command we can perform multiple tasks. So those types of thing, file handling is one type of those. So error handling, suppose we are performing some task and we observe some error, or our code is failed because of some error, so how to handle those exceptions and all those things. So, and these are the things we will discuss. Then last, yeah, these modules and libraries. So in Python we have various types of libraries. So I think if you have any basic idea, so in Python we can import libraries that will help us to perform various types of tasks. Suppose you want to log into a server. So I hope everyone is working here and in and having some experience with some of the telecom node and like have you logged in a telecom node? किसी ने लॉग इन किया है कभी टेलीकॉम नोड किसी नोड पे लाइक एएमएफ पे या फिर आईएमएस के नोड पे एसबीसी पे या बेसिक
Yes,
आइडिया?
the SBC and test.
Okay, so if you are logging to those SBC or TAS, these nodes, so you have one IP of that node, you have to perform SSH and all those things. So in Python, to perform these types of SSH or SFTP, you are aware with these terms? Also, this SSH, SFTP, all those things we will cover in our Linux session, which I have already explained in like previous uh, part. So if you all are aware, we can do those things using a library that is in Python. So those things are very easy. And also by using these I think these topics which I have covered till now in Python will be more than enough as a basic things. There are like oops concept and all, we will use it, but if we are going to discuss those oops concept in this course, then definitely it will be a total Python and developer course, not a telecom course, right? So these are the basic that will be much for this. And further, if you need, we while performing all those like in next agenda what we have to perform, I will explain how we can use those things. And last, implementation of these things, whatever we are going to learn further, that we are going to implement in a telecom project. So this is basic of just Python what we are going to learn. Okay, now moving back to this. So till now we have covered introduction to telecom testing, why automation is required in telecom testing. Like these are just a course content. Moving further, we will go in depth for all this thing and learn about it. Okay, Linux, I already explained. We will learn how to make a directory, how to make a new file, how to give rights like read, write, execute all those rights. These are very basic things. But if we struck the like most of you, if you have worked on Linux, you know ls command, right? You all know. Then using ls, we have after a hyphen we have ls hyphen lrth. So what is l, what, where we use r, t why we use. So these are the things which verbose why we are using all those basic things. I will explain. Although we are using those command, but many times we don't have idea what this parameter is doing and all. So from very basic we will start all those things. Python, I already explained what are the things we are going to cover in Python. So those things will be totally like we will do a practical based. We will be on a call like this and everyone is uh, going to install with me. This is a blank I have already PyCharm and all those things in my laptop, but I have uninstalled it so that when we will work on these sessions, I will show you, and parallelly you guys will also start the installing all those parameters so that if anyone face any difficulty or something, we will solve those things. Okay. I'm going fine or fast? It's okay ना for all? Like किसी को कोई issue है तो they can mm, speak up.
It
Hope
will,
everything is fine.
it's okay.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. Further, after Python, we are going to discuss about robot framework. So robot framework is also a part of Python only, but this is a module which we are going to use. This is very popular in testing. Like suppose someone is working in web testing, like suppose a developer is there who is working on Facebook website and he's developing Facebook or Amazon website. So everything is working or not. So they will use uh, robot framework and Selenium. Selenium is the thing which we are using for testing of like web browsers and all those things. Any web application, like anything which we are using on the web, it can be tested using Selenium. Like suppose a Facebook website, Amazon website. So in a Facebook website, login, password, like user login and password, these things are there. So suppose someone has developed it. So a user, it will go and feed the username, feed the password, and click on a login button. This is a normal manual process we all are doing, right? But by using Selenium, that is a Python library, and robot framework, we can make this process in a single click automatable. We will feed the password, we will feed our username and login element. I will show, like as we will move further, we will see all these things practically. So similarly, in telecom, major of the things we are performing, like our what who are our end users in telecom? Anyone? हमारे end users कौन है telecom में?
There is subscriber,
Yeah, subscriber. And subscriber is connected using a
cell phone.
cell phone. So here we will not work too much on web browsing and automation. We will work on cell phone related automation. So suppose what you are doing using a cell phone in terms of telecom, like you have multiple applications, Instagram, all those things that also need data. But specifically in terms of telecom, a data call, a registration, these things we are performing, call, SMS, emergency call, these are the things. Like there are multiple things we are doing, call forwarding, these are telecom related things we are performing using a mobile. So how we can automate these things, that we are going to do in this course. Like if you want to make a deregistration, what you will do using your cell phone? Anyone?
Turn on aeroplane mode of the phone.
Okay, so suppose you are a telecom tester in some XYZ company. So if you will, uh, you have one phone and your task is to perform airplane mode on off, collect the log for that, like the registration and deregistration log, and analyze it. You can do it. It's a very simple task, but you have hundreds of different phones or different scenarios. So it will be a time consuming task. We can automate it using Python, robot framework, and Appium. This Appium is also a library we are using in Python. So we can write a code that will go to and connect to that mobile, and particularly it will uh, enable the flight mode or disable the flight mode. How we will write our code? Okay. So robot framework we will use for that. I will explain this, like what are the things we are going to cover in this, and after that I will show you those things. Okay. So introduction to robot framework, why we are using, and again it will be on same PyCharm. Okay. IDE we are going to use is PyCharm. The basic concept of robot framework. Anyone have idea what is robot framework? Have you used it earlier? Anyone? Or heard about it?
Yes, sir, heard about it.
Okay, okay. So I will give a very high level info about all these things. Okay. So how to make a test suite, how a test case structure is, what are the keywords, what are test data, and how we report it. I will show all these things, and we are going to do it very practically. We will make a first Python backend Python function. It will be called using the robot framework keywords, and what it will do, I will give a idea once I will finish all these 10 topics. Okay. So how we can write the first test case? Okay, there are some simple test case I can show you, and also there are built-in keywords, and also we can make our own keywords as well. Like built-in keyword we have is run command and all those things, and various keywords. When we will go in depth with this topic, I will show you. Then how to run a test case using a command line, how to define the variable, test data variable, and all this thing I will show everything. How, what are the data types, how to pass a argument, everything we are going to see and do it. Keywords I already mentioned above, but here we are going to define custom keywords. The above what I mentioned was predefined keywords, which is already proposed by robot framework. It's there, we can use it predefined. But if you want to make some customized keyword, like someone of you answered me, if we want to register or deregistered, we will do a flight mode. So to do a flight mode enablement, how we will make a new keyword? To make a call, how we will make a new keyword? So these things we are going to discuss. Then in this also robot framework we have this if else these things, but in a different format. Like this is a predefined keyword. So suppose we have defined some keyword, but it will only run if any particular condition will be passed. Also we can use the loops and all. uh, I hope everyone is understanding. Any doubts till now? किसी को कोई डाउट है? Okay, great. So after this, we are going to perform a test execution. And once we execute a test, how it's look like? So generally, if we run a robot framework test, its reports come into a HTML format, and we can open it on any browser. And once we open it, it will show everything, like which keyword we call, what are the commands executed in the backend, and all those things. I will explain after this. Okay. So this is the thing. So we have covered till now here robot framework. Then Appium. I already explained Appium. So suppose in browser, if you want to store like go on any element or something, what you guys are doing? We have some XPath. Any idea you guys have about these things? XPath or path for that? Okay, no worries. We will discuss all these things in a suppose. I just explained. If you want to do a flight mode, you will what you will do? Toggle it down and click on flight mode. But you know that on a screen we have like it's a screen and it have some size. O- The aeroplane mode toggle button will be always on a fixed position, right? So with respect to the toggle button position, we have some path. Like if you will Google it now, it's a very basic thing. I will show all this thing, not an issue. So using that, we can find the particular path. Suppose if you want to make a call, which thing you will click on your phone? The call button. Okay. And when we open any phone, we have a developer option. If we enable the developer option in our phone, so we can directly call that call button, like call button is there or SMS button is there or flight mode toggle button is there. So once we have developer mode enabled in our mobile and it is connected to our PC from where we are automating it, we have a fix uh, like address for that particular buttons, and we are going to call those things using robot framework. And robot framework is going to call the Python scripts which we will run. So this thing I will explain. And this all the things which we are going to discuss in 5, 6, and 7, that is Python, robot framework, and Appium, we are going to implement it here. Like what we will do, we will create a dummy device, or I will also show a live device using Visor. It's an application. We will connect a device. We will find the elements. Suppose we want to make a call, or suppose we want to make a flight mode, right? So इन सब चीजों के लिए what we will do, we will make a script. We will then first we will find the elements. Using these elements, we will make a Python script, and that Python script will be called, right, using robot framework. Now let me explain how this thing will work in a some different manner. Mm, Hope my whiteboard is visible to all, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will be very sorry about my diagrams, but yeah, I will try to explain. Okay. Suppose this is your mobile. This is your call function. This is your message function. And here we have aeroplane mode. Okay. So we will find some element using Appium and ADB commands that will call. What it will do, suppose we have some command. So address for airplane mode slash address. So using all those things, we will find the address for aeroplane mode. Okay. Once we found it, we will write a Python script. It's just a very overview, high level things. When we will do, I will show you. In Python script, we will import all those things what we required, the libraries like um, Appium, like ADB cells, robot framework, all these things. Suppose we have imported all those things. As of now, I am putting it star star star. We will do like this. Then we will write our script that will, what this script is doing basically, this script job is to, and we will write this script in a function. Okay. And function name will be airplane mode toggle. Toggle means enable and disable. Okay. So in aeroplane mode, we have how many options? Like what you can do with that this symbol? What are the two things or things we can do? Anyone? हम इससे क्या क्या कर सकते हैं?
Disable and enable.
Okay, so we have two options. So we will mark here two. Disable, comma, enable, like this. Okay. So anything, whatever we need, like these two are not mandatory. So suppose we want to enable, we will call the enable function in this function, that is aeroplane mode, and which is not what this function is doing. This function is calling this aeroplane mode address like this. So once we run this function, which we are developing in Python, what it will do, it will go and disable the flight mode or enable the flight mode. But where the robot framework come in picture, our task is not only to disable, enable all those things. Suppose one function we have done for this, we will write another function. That is tracing. So suppose we are doing enable or disable, what will happen in the network? Backend के network में क्या होगा?
The UE will latch to the network and register and deregistration will be.
Great. Perfect. So it will register and deregister. So जब भी कोई डिवाइस या सब्सक्राइबर नेटवर्क में रजिस्टर और डी रजिस्टर करता है, तो उसके कुछ मैसेजेस होते हैं, लाइक whenever a subscriber is registering or deregistering in a network, there are some messages. Like for IMS, we know IMS registration. uh, I think all are aware with IMS registration flow and all, right? Although we will discuss when we will perform, we will discuss in a brief, but we will majorly focus on this automation part. But yeah, I will explain all the mandatory things of the IMS or 5G or attach registration or SIP registration, right? So once we will do enable disable, in the backend there will be a dump for that subscriber for registration, deregistration, all those things, right? So this function which we will create will do the tracing. Okay. And for tracing, what we need, suppose a basic thing in a whole network, if you want, आपने एक registration flight mode enable disable किया, you have done a flight mode enable disable and registration happened. So how you will find that particular registration? What's the parameter which we are sending in registration? Anyone?
I think from the message IE, like if it is a IMS invite message,
Okay,
then we
what's
know.
the major parameter which uniquely uh, define a subscriber. You are almost correct. Yes, in invite message you saw imp, imc, all those things, right?
Yeah.
Every time registration is done using imc. In IMS it will be imp. In 5G it will be suki supi. Okay, so here we will pass imc value, so that for that particular subscriber only who had done enable disable MC, like that particular subscriber will be search. Now, from where? The server also we need to pass. So I'm just giving overview how a script will be made. So suppose these are the things, and then we will collect the trace, we will SFTP download the trace. For that we will write some function. So these will be one thing which will be backend code. But to run a test case, what we will do? We will make a simple robot framework. We will use here robot framework, and it's very popular nowadays in telecom. So robot framework has some structure. I will show all those things. But using this, what you can do, airplane mode, then just write enable, then trace collection, pass the parameter MC, then validate subscriber. Sorry, not subscriber, validate trace. So what you need to validate? Successful registration. You can ignore my spellings and all, it's a typo. But see, so this is just, you can see what I have done. I have written in simple step. First of all, we have to do aeroplane mode. We will collect the trace. We will do a validate the trace. Okay, but actually robot framework test case are going to be like this only. But this aeroplane mode will be a keyword that will go and sync and call this function in this Python script. But for a telecom engineer, we don't need to be too much pro in this development. We will focus on this, but we in this course we are covering this as well, how we can define basic level things. And as you will work on this, you will get more ideas, and definitely you can improve these things. So it will call this function. Suppose for trace collection, it will call this function with this MC. So whatever arguments we will pass here, that will be feeded in this function. Validate trace, here it will call the third function. Suppose in this, once registration done, we are connected to a network. What else we can do? Anyone? What do you want to do now?
To make a report, like
Uh, no, like suppose what you are doing with your phone in terms of telecom,
Sir, calling.
calling, SMS, all this thing. So registration is the very basic and essential process so that you are connected to that network. Okay. Further, the main process the telecom services is calling. So also we can define a function using this same process. This was just like we will first find the elements for calling, and that will be like this is just a high level example. Then this path we will use and make a new function. That function will be calling. Okay, and for calling, what are the things you need? A number, like who is calling. B number, to whom we are calling. And in test environment, for how much time you want to call. So suppose I want to make a call for 30 seconds. So these three things I will pass in this, and I will define this function. So after this here also I can write make a call. So this will be a robot framework keyword. So our front end script, like we will only, once we are defining all this thing, we will only run this particular keyword. That is a easy to read. Now everyone can see what is happening. First aeroplane mode, what we are doing, enable trace collection. For whom? For this particular MC. Validate trace, what we have to validate, successful registration happened or not. I will show all this thing, like how in Wireshark whatever I am explaining, first we will do it manually. Like if you know how to find this path manually, how to write a function from basic, then only you can automate it, na? Right? So it will be like this. Now, for make a call keyword, what are the arguments we need to pass here based on this function? Same thing, a number, b number, and time. Suppose make a call, then you want to end the call as well. So end call function we will define here and we will call from here. So if we have all the important function defined in our Python script and we want to suppose for a particular test case, I need to just perform aeroplane mode and trace collection. I will do this. For any subscriber, for any test case, I need to perform aeroplane mode, make a call, make a conference call. So I will again use a make a call, and from the same A number, I will call the C number and merge the call. We can define many things. So hope everyone got the idea how we can automate the telecom things. This is a just idea using Python, robot framework and Appium. Any doubts or you want to ask something?
Yeah, Kishan, just want to know like how we get to know that airplane mode is on in previous state or off. Like this can be
Yeah,
handled, right?
it's a very good thing which you have highlighted. So these are the bugs. I was just explaining in a high level. But yeah, a very good thing what you have highlighted is suppose you are doing a flight mode enable, right? But are you aware earlier if it's already enabled, now you are not managing the phone manually. So in this function, again we will define and we will check the state first whether the device aeroplane mode is toggled as enabled or disabled. Or second thing, we can pass a exception here that if suppose if it's already enabled and we are passing enable thing, so it will give an error. So we will ignore that error and perform the test case if we want to enable it. That I have already mentioned in this Python, like error handling and all those things, right? So these things are the things when we start working and we are facing some issue. All these things we will build from scratch, a very basic things. Like I've just explained multiple things here, but practically we have whatever we can perform, we will do. Like we don't have a telecom network and from there we can connect. Yeah, but we have a mobile, we have the elements, we have this open source Python robot framework. I will show how we can use it. And it will be almost 90% real, uh, like it will be like a real environment. Okay. So all those things can be taken care. Suppose I will make a call from A to B. B is busy. What I will do? So those things we need to define. Okay. So at the end, we will do create a scripts like this. Now going back to our course content. So in this, we will go cover those things. Now, what are REST APIs, 4G, 5G, IMS call flow? So in this only I explain you. Suppose we are doing a registration. So here I will show the basic things, how to find the elements of the aeroplane mode, all those things. Now, from the network side, I will explain how the messages are, what are the REST API messages, suppose in SIP, what are the messages and how we can handle those messages here using this Python. Okay. Then PCAP analysis using Wireshark and T-Shark. Uh, how many of you have worked on Wireshark or have you seen
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
work? Okay, great. It will be really helpful. And how many are you aware with T-Shark?
Yes, I know.
Okay. So can you tell me what is T-Shark?
So we use it to whenever there is a overall log collection, we use that tsark. Like there are multiple nodes from end to end.
Okay.
That time we have open, but not much.
So
Very few.
same thing we can do on Vaishak as well, na?
Ah, yes, yes.
So
End to end.
major difference is Vaishak is a GUI. What is GUI? Graphical user interface. If you have worked on Vaishak, you can see a dolphin type of symbol is coming. You are seeing the packets. You are clicking on that packet. You are applying filters, right?
Yes.
But if you want to perform the same thing, you want to make a filter, you want to collect the PCAP using CLI, like command line interface. Because in programming, we our task is to reduce the manual connection. Like no one should do anything manually. Once we have click on run button, those tasks should be run in the backend. So this we have two options. One is GUI, that is graphical user interface. We are seeing it, we are interacting with that interface, and we are working on it. Second, sorry, second thing is CLI. So T-Shark we can install on a Linux environment, and that will allow us to perform all the tasks we are doing on Wireshark manually on T-Shark. Suppose right now I don't have a packet in this PC from which I haven't connected, but yeah, in upcoming sessions I will show you. In suppose in a SIP registration call flow, you all are aware with dialog or transaction, these basic things, or it's not mandatory, but if you are aware, like those who have already um, covered the previous courses, so you must be aware. And those who are new, only started the automation, I will explain all those things as well. So if you want to make a dialogue, so how you will like how to find a dialogue in a whole session? Anyone can tell me? Or transaction, like we have dialogue na? How we can find that? How you can uniquely identify a dialogue or transaction? Anything out of these two things you can answer me if anyone knows.
The two tag from tag call ID transaction.
Okay. To tag call ID. And one more thing, very important, via.
Yes.
So these things you have seen right on Wireshark. But if you want to, in this, like what automation I was showing you, we have collected the validation trace. So if you want to validate a particular dialogue or a particular transaction, so in T-Shark you will pass the filter as on via header. This thing it will be predefined. We will define. I will show all this thing. Don't be worried about all those things. Now, this is a very important thing. If you are working on any telecom domain, you have to log in some servers. Like I already mentioned when I was explaining Linux things. So suppose you are working as an IMS engineer. So what you will do? You will log in day to day on SBC. You will perform health checkups, health checkup command, like check the alarms, right? Do we have any uh, alarm or critical issue or something? We are going to perform. So those things are the tasks which are day to day. Like where I was also like I have worked on those things, and what I observed is like we have day to day same task we have to perform daily basis, like, and that consume 2 to 3 hours. Go check the health check, go run the all health check command on the same node, login that node. So this server login automation I will explain, and run the CLI command. Suppose you are logging to any node, that is TAS, SBC. So you need to perform some health checkups command to check whether everything is fine or not. So those that thing we can do. Suppose you need to make some changes in the network. So we can do these things using the CLI command, and for that we are going to use subprocess. We have different modules. Paramico is one of the library in Python we will use to perform the SSH, SFTP, all those things. Uh, anyone who is like not aware with these terms, जो भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ, anyone, or you guys are catching it? You can respond like
Yes, sir. Getting it.
getting it, na?
Yes, sir.
Great. So this will be a very important. Here we are, this all things will be hands on. We will do it on a real device. I will connect and show you, but for learning purpose we will also use the dummy device, like, but it will be same. It also has the flight mode symbol, it also had the calling symbol, message symbol, everything. Okay. Server logger logging using automation, and same thing here I will explain using any command if you want to run. So here we don't have suppose any real server. So what we will do, I will show you to run us any simple command on a Linux server. It will be also same thing, right? And we are going to cover the 5G product knowledge like AMF, NRF, I missed here, SMF, UDM, all this thing. What are these product? How we can build the automation? I will show you. Suppose NRF is one of the node, network repository function. Okay, it's a 5G node. So what are the things we can do in this node? How we can do those things manually first, secondary automation. So see the basic thing. Why these roles, whatever things I'm explaining, is in demand nowadays in telecom market is because a developer don't have idea about these things. He developer, a fully Python pro developer, don't know what is IMS network, what is AMF, NRF and all. But by learning this level of basic things, and you already have IMS knowledge, you already have 5G knowledge, you know what is NRF, what function it do, so you can do it more better. Like one of you, I think Sonu Kumar, he replied like, what if we will do flight mode enable and it's already enabled? So it was a good thinking. But a developer who is not working on this, he is not enable that, aware that enabling that will generate a registration log. And if a subscriber is already registered, how he can register again? So those things a developer can't analyze. But yeah, a telecom person who has idea about those things can analyze and can give more result to the company using this approach. So that's why we have like structured our course in this way, so that the learning will be with respect to telecom domain only. I'm not focusing too much on Python. What is required, we will focus. But going depth in oops concept and performing those things, no need. Yeah, moving further, if you will do this much now, I'm definitely sure you will be capable to do those things as well by putting your efforts. Then here we will do a test plan creation. Like suppose NRF, AMF is there. So what are the different type of test plan? In IMS node, suppose you are working on SBC. What are the things you can do on SBC? What SBC do? You all are aware with the functionality of SBC as you have already attended the previous sessions. So we can create the test plan. Suppose one of the task is registration in IMS network. We can make the test plan. What is the in how to create a test plan? So in a test plan, first we have to, let me write it here, let me clear it, or I will write. First we should know the environment. Okay, second thing, what we need to perform, prerequisite. Then execution, what we need to actually perform. Then test result. Then validation. So this is basically a overview how we make a test plan. Suppose you want to make a registration. So you must have some environment. Subscriber should not be registered priorly. To execute it, what are the things what we need to do in the backend? Which node should be thing? These things should be there, right? This is a structure of a test plans and all those things. Now test plan execution. This was the thing, test plan creation. So I will show you how we create, and I will show you various types of. Suppose for NRF, we have multiple things. Discovery procedure, we have registration procedure of the other network element, we have deregistration, we have subscription, notification. So these things I will explain you. Then also whatever we plan we will create, we can also work on the execution of those things, right? Now Jira we have added here is basically required because to manage the project, whatever task, suppose one of you are assigned with a task, आपको कोई task दिया आपके manager ने कि you have to do this, so those things will be managed how you are working, how much time you have taken. If you are stuck somewhere, you have to update those things. So Jira also for a couple of one session or two session will be enough for basic thing. Git is a very important thing here. Whatever we are developing, suppose I have made this application, this is doing all those things. Some other user came and disturbed this thing. So a common repository which will be implemented in the production environment will be directly fetched from Git. And suppose multiple telecom developer, me, suppose one of you, one more guy, all are working on the same project, and they are making some changes as per their functions what they have to run. So everyone have to merge their things. I will explain like when we will move further. It's an important thing to manage. Then roles and responsibility of automation engineer. I think many things I have explained very high level, but in depth what we have to do, what are the day-to-day tasks, which type of task is been given to us, these things. Then interview questions. Suppose you are now aware with all these topics which are covered at the top. Now the thing is, after this, your you all are here so that you can learn, you can approach to good companies, or some companies they need such talent who are having good knowledge on telecom as well as on automation. They will reach out to you. So which type of question they can ask, how you should communicate. Suppose you know something, but sometime it happens, we know something, they ask, we forgot how to handle those things in interview questions and approach towards the interview, how to answer in a such way so that the interview will ask the next question that we know. These things we will discuss, right? Then job ready automation, mock preparation, some basic things. Yeah, anyone? I think someone is unmute. Rahul, you want to say something? कुछ कहना है आपको? Okay, no problem. So this is basically the things we are going to cover, and it will take around like 2 months, 60 days efforts and all, and everything will be practical. As I explained, we will install. I will show you how to install. We will use all those libraries, run all those things. It will be fully practical. Now today we have also we I will explain few things like basic telecom testing things. So just an introductory part, it's a theory type of thing. If I will start with today's agenda, like what is telecom and all, you guys will be bored. That's why I have first explain all the things what we are going to cover in this course. And this is the thing, very basic thing, introduction to telecom code testing. So I will just explain some basic terms. This is a test environment. It may be IMS. In this scenario, I have chosen, yeah, Ashwani, you want to say something?
No, no.
Okay, okay, no problem. So here, for example, I have taken EPC network. So what this is called? Let me copy.
Hi, Kishan,
Yeah.
are you sharing something other? Like we are seeing only this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Hold on, hold on. Let me share again. Hold on. I'm sharing again. Now is it visible?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
PPT.
great. Thanks, Sonu, to inform me. So introduction to telecom code testing. So in core network, we have multiple things. We have IMS core, we have EPC core, we have 2G GSM core as well. When earlier we have 5G core. So as of now, for just for this, hope now it's visible. I have like put it on projection mode.
Yes,
Everyone can see it.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
great, great. So see, what we called it basically, this environment is called like overall our test environment. What I have highlighted in red. Okay. I don't have color. Yeah, color option I have. This environment we will call, which I have highlighted in green. We will call it SUT. Anyone know SUT? What is this?
System under test.
Great, great. And suppose in this, now our task is to test this phone, whether this phone is properly registering or not. Just an example. In code testing, we will not test phone. Phone will be just a initiator who will initiate the registration, call flow, all those things. Suppose we are testing MME functions, like what MME is doing. Registration, it's doing attach, mobility, it's handling, like it's also handles the handover scenarios. So if we are performing on this and our task is to test this MME function, so this will called as DUT. What is DUT?
Device under test.
Great, great. So I think you all are well aware. It will be good, like, so SUT, DUT, these are basic term which we will hear in day-to-day basis. It's not very like theory part of thing, but suppose you are working, you are working on HSS and all, but somebody, some other manager or some in meeting, someone will ask you which node, which DUT node you are working on and all. You might be get confused. That's why this basic thing I covered. So this is called testing environment. Then different types of testing we do in telecom. There are multiple things of testing. These three basically you will hear: unit testing, integration testing, regression testing. So unit testing, basically, if any particular unit development you are testing. So suppose here MME have multiple functionalities, right? It perform mobility, it perform registration like attach, detach, it perform handovers, it perform other like uh, bearer management with this, like it go and inform our S gateway. It also inform the HSS, it perform authentication, all those things, right? So these are different things what this node is performing. So these types of different testings comes under unit testings. You can simply learn verifies the functionality of the individual component of modules with the telecom system. So MME is a node, but it has individual many components functionality. Suppose if you have learned about TAS, TAS has multiple functionalities: SCCAS, TADS, MMTEL, right? So all these things are the various things. So these things comes under unit testing. Any particular things we are doing. Integration testing we are doing. So here, like multiple combination of the, like suppose we are in, we have MME. So how MME is installed, the scalability test, all those things can be tested here. Like ensure the seamless integration and interpor interoperability between different telecom components and subsystem. Like if it's connected with HSS and all, everything will be, so those types of testing. And regression testing is like we are majorly we have to perform. Suppose some of the vendor, they have asked you to uh, work on MME. You have tested registration, you have tested call, you have tested handover, and you found some issue. What's the job of a tester? Suppose MME is installed, the job of the tester, the task is to क्या करता है वो, find the bugs, so that जब so that when this MME is installed in a live network, it will not show any issue to the real time subscriber. That's why the tester is performing these things even manually, and we are working to automate it. So suppose we found some bug, and that bug is being fixed by the developer, like who is developing MME, the telecom core developer, right? So in the next cycle, when the next again it will be tested, it should be suppose we are making any change, it should be tested. Again, we are finding some bug, so repeating the test and finding the bug, solving it. These types of testing come under regression testing. We have various types of different other testings as well, but that will be more with respect to a QA domain who is working in pure testing, not respect to telecom like software testing or any type of. That's why we are not discussing too much about that, right? Then why automation is needed? Whatever I have explained you, many of the companies, बहुत सारी companies आज भी doing it manually. Many are doing it manually, but the things which we are going to learn will help us to do those things manually as well as to approach for automation. So what it will do, so again this is a theory things, just to show you guys, like it will be time consuming. Like what are the challenges in manual? So time consuming, lack of consistency, maybe some manual error and all those things can happen. Scalability, suppose you are a person, you are doing some manual task on 10 device, next day the demand come for 100 device and different things, but the task is same, then it will be a very complex, and you will not be allowed to be scale it up in the same, like they can say it's the same task, you can do it, but doing it 100 time on the 100 device, it will be again a difficult thing, but not for automation. So here automation will help us, it will help us to enhance the accuracy, especially the cost saving. What example I explain, 100 time one person cannot do it, they will hire 2 or 3 person. So if a person who knows automation can save the cost, it will perform the task even on the timing of how, uh, like a single person can do. Before that only he can do using automation. And market competitive, like I already explained, many of the companies are nowadays doing these things manually and trying to approach towards automation. That's why we have, like you can see if you'll go on some job portals and all, there will be this profile opening is in demand, like robot framework, you should have test knowledge, you should have automation knowledge. So everyone want to be competitive in the market. That's why they are trying their approach from manual to automation. And I think that's it, I have covered for today. And now it's time for queries, doubt, or like your feedback. You can say we can discuss for a few minutes. Like we, sorry, I'm already 8 minutes late, so I'm. You guys can discuss now if you want to discuss something or any doubt or questions. Please, floor is yours.